Hello, it is I, Ramses the 800th, and we're back with the Nikke tier list. Let me slide this up, and we're going to be covering the MISSILIS units from Nikke. I'm very excited because MISSILIS has a lot of good units, a lot of good units. So I think let's just get started. First off, we got Maxwell. Now Maxwell, he has a little bit of a rap sheet, a long sheet, but she also has a costume. So let's look at her original self. Maxwell. She's a sniper. Her front is okay. I feel like this pose is really nice. But I don't know what she's wearing. I don't know what that's considered. If they're like pants, if that's just her legs. But she does. That's a lot of good movement. I'm not gonna lie. Maxwell is like the outlier in her squad until she got this outfit. But with this outfit, we got a jacket. It's not the jacket isn't really the best thing, but isn't it covers. It's kind of like a downgrade, but it's more aesthetic with the rest of her squad because that's kind of like what they wear. They all have masks, they all have things. But base Maxwell, she's all right. She's, she's not like the craziest thing in the world, but she's not awful either. Okay, so Maxwell, here she is. Maxwell's like a, trying to think. She has a lot of motion. Not gonna lie, you see a little bit of the cleavage, so better than her. Well, the costume, yeah, she's like a C. Next up, we have Uni. I love Uni. Uni, I think, was my first SR that I got, and damn, right? Uni got a giant factory back there, and her whole thing is like the thighs and the behind, and it's really good. The hair doesn't really cover anything. The outfit's nice. She has a costume too, which puts on like a little dress, a little skirt. It's not crazy. It's like, again, this is more of like a side grade. I kind of want to see how Uni is now. We kind of know what she looks like now after the whole events in the story, but I don't really know how that's gonna work because she looks a lot different. But Uni's great. Uni's great. So Uni, she's like the peak of a missile unit and how they should be. So I think Uni's like she's like bottom of What's the coat? Yeah, she's like B. She's like B right there. B for behind. And next we have everyone's favorite grandma, Litter. Litter is, she also has a lot of costumes. I forgot about that. Yeah, she has her diver costume, and then she has the cute sunflower. But Litter, oh wait, hold on. I'm in the wrong costume. Litter, I don't know why it moves that much, but it does. But, to each their own, I don't know why. I think Litter was another like older unit. Yeah, older unit, so every unit had like some sort of motion. She has her diver outfit, which more or less the same. Actually, a bit more motion. That's kind of weird. And then we have her little sundress outfit. This is nice. This is more of the dress moving. Again, more of a side grade. I wish I got this one when it came out, but I don't have it. So Litter, Grandma's got it. Not gonna lie. Grandma's got it. So Litter's also a B. Litter's also a decent B. Because for someone her age, or a grandma, it's moving a lot. It's moving a lot. Next we have the violinist Julia? Julia? I think that's her name. I like Julia's design because she has like a violin gun, which I feel like Nikke could do way more like interesting weapons, but this is like the only one. Julia, she shows a lot more than I thought. I almost never use her. I don't think anybody really uses her, but the front view is nice. You see a lot of crotch. So weird saying that. And then behind you see a little bit of movement, right? But I like that this coat is transparent, so it's not really hiding anything, even though it is. And the straps, and there's a decent amount of movement. She also has a costume, which I think is just yeah, it's like a fancy dress. And then you get, okay, but you still see some movement here. You see some movement here, which is actually new movement. Pretty good. This is like a decent uptick, I guess. It's not that much of an improvement, but it's a decent one. So where is Julia? I think that's her name. Julia. She's here somewhere. I probably passed her. There she is. She was right next to Eula. No wonder I couldn't see her. Julia's like a C, but yeah, mm, yeah, she's like right here because these idols have like specifically Sunflower. She has like a lot back there, so it's really hard to beat. But yeah, she's like a C. It's okay. Now after Julia, we have Senti, who's also a part of Mighty Tools with Grandma. She also has a casual outfit, but for now, not the best thing in the world. The crouching she's doing is like okay, but you know, there's not really too much moving back there. It's weird. It's weirdly like tight back there. Let's look at the costume, which is like her casual outfit, which is a massive improvement. You see a lot more. You see the bone right there, or like it's the tendons, and there is a lot more movement. This is a pretty decent increase. I was probably gonna put her in C. Now she's no, she was probably gonna go in D with the first outfit. Now she's probably like a low C. Let's find Senti. Here she is. Senti is like a low C, but the costume really does boost her up. But she doesn't really have too much back there. I think like right here. Yeah, I think that's decent. Yeah. Senti, C. C for Senti, I guess. Okay, now we have the second Matisse girl. We have Drake. Now Drake is by far I believe the most favorited out of all the Matisse girls because she has like 4 costumes. But base Drake is not good. She doesn't have too much movement. It's mainly the jacket, and you kind of like see the outline, but she even has a shotgun increase, but it's not really helping anything since we can't see anything. Then we have Maid Drake, which I love the Maid Drake, which is a pretty decent improvement. Now we see a little bit of the front, we see a little bit of the back, we see way more thigh than we did before, and we get to see basically more of normal Drake, as normal as Drake can be. And then we have Race Car Drake, which I think was one of the first gotcha skins, and this is a crazy improvement. We actually see stuff back there, and I think this is like a pretty big increase. So Drake, where is she? Drake is a pretty decent C tier. I can't really push her up to B because she's carried by her costumes a lot. And her base costume is like really bad. So, but her costumes are really good. So maybe, yeah, like high C for Drake. She also has a favorite item, but doesn't really add anything to her. So let's just move her off to the side. And yeah, that's Drake. So next we have everyone's least favorite Chaos Worshiper. I keep forgetting she literally has the mark of corn on her shoulder right there. But Crow, who's currently, I think, in the story in prison, as she should be. And Crow, she has a decent front. Like, she has, like, a lot of movement. You see a bit of thigh, but she's not really good, per se, you know? There's nothing back here. You get a little bit of the front, but it's the coat. And if we ever see her again, it's not going to be like this, so she's not even going to get a costume. So, Crow, where is she? Crow, I'm comfortable putting her in F tier for jacket. But who is she worse than? She's around these 3. The Mihara, Ether, like group there. There's nothing there. She belongs, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. There are probably worse units out there. But if I could put her lower, I'd put her in Crow tier because she's absolutely trash. Okay, next we have Piper. Now Piper, again, she's kind of carried by. Let's just get a look. She has a shotgun increase, which is damn, right? Like you see a lot of thigh, you see a little peak right there, and there's a lot There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement. But her costume, we did not know she was packing this much because she has this giant coat on, right? She has a tiny little coat, and it was hiding craziness. But now you see a little bit here. Like I said, whenever there's whenever you see more, there's less movement. But Jesus, do you see a lot more? She's up there. Not gonna lie. Piper or Pepper? Is it Piper or Pepper? I think it's Pepper. Yeah, Pepper. Where is she? There she is. Pepper, I think. Pepper is kind of up there, especially with the costume. You see a whole lot. Yeah, she's like here. She's actually yeah, she's probably second because there is a lot. And I mean a lot of movement in her base outfit, and then the costume, you just see a whole bunch more. So Pepper is about, she might be top of B actually. Yeah, let's put her top of B. Let's put her top of B. Next we have Admi? Admi? I think that's how you say her name. Admi, I don't, yeah, she has no costume. Yeah, it's nothing. It's a skirt. I guess thigh. The firing pose is also kind of, I don't know if she's on her knee or not, or if she's literally on her tippy toes for this, but it is nothing really there. She has a rocket launcher, which is bad, especially if you don't have anything back there. So she's not doing too well. So Admi, I think that's her name. She's kind of down. She's like in this tier almost, because she's not. Well, no, yeah. Well, you get thigh, I guess. Yeah, D. I'm trying to think about who's worse. Yeah, it's like this. It's like it's D. D. So next we have Jackal, who's like, she's fine. I like Jackal. She's a little crazy, as you can see. You can see like a decent bit of thigh. You see a little bit of the inside. The back is kind of weird because again, I don't know what the stance is, but you see like creases and stuff. It's not terrible, but there really isn't any movement per se. There's no like jiggle anywhere. It's kind of just flat. She has a jacket, but it's not really covering anything. The only jiggle you get is like the initial one, but like she's okay, but she's not a standout. She's at least not hiding anything. Like there's nothing being hidden. But I think a costume would do her good, maybe like a advanced form, but it's not good. Jackal is pretty disappointing. It's mainly because there's not any movement where there could have been. She's not really D tier. She might be D tier. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think she's D. Oh man, that kind of sucks because there's like nothing there. You see creases, but if there was like movement, it'd be better. But unfortunately, Jackal is D tier. It's sad. I like Jackal. She's pretty cute. Okay, so next we're covering Laplace, who's I think the leader of Matisse. I think, but Laplace, her front's fine. You see basically everything in the front, but jacket, it's jacket tier, and her Bond thing, I think I can't really pull it up here. Her Bond outfit, I guess, is her just without the jacket. I feel like if they just gave us a costume where she could take the damn jacket off, it'd be a lot better. Because it stands, like, if you can tell, you can see the leg right here, and I assume the knee's like right in front, right here. You could see a lot if she just takes the jacket off, but we're not gonna see it. So she goes in jacket tier. So Laplace, unfortunately, I like Laplace. She's really cute, and she's stupid, but she goes into jacket tier. She's top of jacket tier at least. Well, no, because Mihara has a lot in the front. She's like there in jacket tier. Unfortunate. And then she has a favorite item. They could literally just release her without the jacket and she'd go up, but they haven't done that yet, so she doesn't get anything. So after Laplace, we get Guilty, and Guilty also has a costume, but let's have a look at that. The Jesus, right? Jesus. But Guilty, she has a whole lot. That's really nice. You see a lot in the front, even though you know it's a full body suit. It's still a whole lot. Her reload animation, you get a lot of jiggle, right? And when she shoots, she really shoots. Oh, everything's moving. Everything's moving, right? And in her swimsuit outfit, Jesus and Jesus, she didn't really get too big of a nerf from showing so much skin. I think because the original outfit is already kind of skin tight, but she's really good. She's like almost guilty, especially with the costume. Where is it? Where is she? She's here somewhere. I can find you. There she is. Guilty. Guilty is A tier, especially with the costume. I think she's this eight. No, she might be S because everything's moving both front and back. Costume has a lot. I think Guilty's S tier. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I think she's S. Yeah, yeah. So I guess we're covering all the. Is this called Real Kindness? Oh yeah, I didn't know the squad name. Okay, well we're covering the rest of Real Kindness, who also has. She also has a Sin, who also has a costume, and Sin. She has like the what is it? She gives me very much K-pop idol vibes. Like the I don't really know how else to describe it, but she has the pants are hugging her really well and they're moving a lot. Um, the front you see a lot, even though I don't think this leg looks a little weird, but it's fine. Her stance is a little. They kind of have the same stance, her and Guilty, but Sin, her base outfit is really nice, and then we have her maid outfit, kind of, which, the hair is like kind of swooping and covering it. You see, it's a lot more thigh than butt, but yeah, it's fine. Guilty. Sin is okay. Base Sin is a little better. And again, her jacket isn't covering anything, even though it could very well, but it's not. I guess you can say it's covering like the chest, but she's kind of like on the flatter side. She's not. Oh no, she's never mind. She's not on the flatter side, but the jacket covers it, so you don't really see too much. Costume's a little bit of a downgrade, but you know, they're both really well. They're really good. So Sin, wherever she is, she was right next to. Here we go. Sin. She has a lot of thigh movement. Nothing's really covered. I think she's in B tier too. Yeah, I think she's in B tier. Her costume isn't really that much of an improvement, but her base outfit like carries it enough. And again, if you want refreshers on the rules, you can watch the previous videos. That I kind of go into a little bit more detail into them on what I'm rating, but you can tell from how I'm talking about it. So Sin is in B tier. Next, we have Quincy, the second biggest in the squad, I would say. And Quincy, she's fine. Her hair is very much a sensor, but even though her hair is covering most of her back, we still see a lot of like the front, and her front view is very nice. You see a lot of movement. You get a lot of thigh, you get a lot of front, and the shooting. Yes, yeah, her hair is covering her back, but it's not really covering anything. If you understand what I mean. So she's pretty good. It's not crazy movement, but it's a decent amount of movement. So Quincy, I believe her name, Quincy, she's like a decent C. Yeah, she's like that. But the next Quincy we're going to talk about is a little different. So the next Quincy we have is Escape Queen. And Escape Queen Quincy is something else. Front is amazing. You don't get a lot of movement, but you see a lot. And the back, oh my god. That shine? Yes, it's not really too much movement, but it is an enjoyable view. You can't deny that. To make up for the fact that we didn't get back last time, we get a lot of back and we get a lot. Like, that's a little crazy, right? When this unit first came out, I was like, oh my god, how did they allow this? But Escape Queen Quincy kind of goes over her original self wherever she is. She's right here. So I think she goes up to B. Yes, there's not a lot of movement, but it is a really good view. So I think she goes. But it's a really good view, and that's kind of the problem. I think she might go into A. she makes up for the lack of movement by just like the sheer mass. So I think she's A. Yeah, I think she's like right there above. Well, Privity. Yeah, I think it's like this. Yeah. So her costume, her I guess it's her Phantom Thief outfit, Quincy. She goes boosted up to A tier. Next we have Epinel. Epinel. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Epinel. I think I confuse two because she looks very much like the other one that we covered, who I think is in Triangle Squad, and yeah, there's nothing to talk about. You know, I guess thigh, but it's not really center stage. Uh, there's nothing. The hair even covers the back, and the jacket covers too. So I guess she's jacketeer. So you know, Epina, wherever there she is. Epina, jacketeer. Yeah, she goes right. These two. It's these two that I confuse because they basically look the same. Yeah, there she's right there. She's right there next to her. Now we have Naga from Dazzling Pearl. Naga is one of the. She also has a few costumes. So we have normal Naga. I think it's wet T-shirt Naga. Oh no, not wet T-shirt. Elegant date, and then we have this outfit, which we'll cover in a second. But base Naga is pretty good. I think she kind of fits the Garu kind of thing. I think that's kind of like her trope. But you see a lot of thigh, you see a lot of chest. You get peak underneath. I don't know why she's wearing a skirt this short. You get a lot of side boob. You kind of is this their bra? I guess. Yeah. You get this is a pretty good view. It's a pretty decent view, right? It's a lot of peeking of the thigh moves a lot. There's a lot here to enjoy. And then we have Elegant Date, which puts her in about the same length dress, but it's less movement, but you get a little bit more definition, I guess you can say the trade-off is. More or less the same, kind of a side grade. And then we have her Gotcha skin, Last Girl, and it is a downgrade, but the front is a little better because you can see a little bit more of the overspill, but it's not really that big when it comes to the back. It's okay. The Gotcha skin's all right to use, but you mainly get it for this. You don't really get it for in use in game. So Naga, where is she? Here somewhere. There she is. Naga is a pretty decent C tier, I want to say. She's I'm trying to think because Delta, you see a lot more movement in true outfits. She's better than this. She has a shotgun upgrade. Yeah, yeah, because I forgot her outfits carry her. So yeah, her outfits are pretty decent. They're not too much of upgrades, but they do add to the thing. So she's a good C tier. Next, Naga's partner in crime is Tia. Tia she has a rocket, but she's not. She has the rocket upgrade in the fact that you see a little bit more than you should. You get a lot of the front, you get the thighs, you get the chest, and even in the back, this is a pretty decent view. You get butt, you get chest, you get more thigh, you get a little peak down here, and this is how you do a rocket. Like this is how you do a rocket unit. You make it like a pretty decent view. Tia also has just as many outfits as her friend Naga, not to the same extent, where they're kind of more side grades. Like this is basically the same outfit as the one she had before, just slightly differently oriented. Like this back is basically the same thing, which isn't bad. If something's not broke, don't fix it. So this is again like a side grade. And then we have her newest outfit, which is the maid outfit, the apron outfit, which is a pretty decent view. You get a little bit more of like what her back actually looks like. Front is fine, thighs fine. I don't know why she doesn't have shoes on. I just realized that. I guess for that to increase for feet people. But she actually has a lot more movement in this one. Jesus. So she does pretty well. So Tia, she might go slightly above her friend. Where'd I put her? She probably goes over Naga just from the sheer mass. Yeah, I think she's right there. I think that's where Tia goes. Yeah, Tia is like a decent C tier. A pretty highly rated C tier, in my opinion. Next, we have Tove. And Tove, she's a bit on like the smaller side, but I don't know what she's wearing. I don't know why her outfit is like this, but it's pretty good. You get a bit of movement here. You even see a little bit right here of what's actually going on, which is, granted, it's covered by the hair, but it's all right. This pose, you don't really see too much movement, but the backside is really well. Then she has her baseball outfit. I don't know why they gave her this, but I'm not upset because that back is really good. That's a really good back. She's a little bit more on like the skinnier side of most Nikke, because most Nikke aren't really, you know, they're a little bit more like extreme, but it's not about the size, it's about how you use it. And Tove, where is she? Tove. Where is she? She's the only one with like really orange hair, right? Uh-oh, I can't see her. There she is. Tove, she's pretty good. I really like the pants of the baseball outfit, and her base outfit is kind of cracked. So is she see? The movement is fine, relatively. It's mainly the view that's really nice. And I think the baseball outfit kind of pushes her. I think so. I think they push her to like the bottom of C. Because it's just, you see a lot of it, you know? You see a lot. So I think that's good. I think that's a good. She's like bottom of B. Next, we got the first like big girl in Nikke. The first real big girl, because they made the joke that Anise was big, but this is like the first big girl in Nikke, Eleg, and she's, granted, her firing, like her base firing pose isn't the best, but you see a lot of thigh, you see a peak underneath, and you don't get a lot of movement, but you do get a decent amount of movement, It's the allure where you don't see all of it, but you see kind of most of it. And she has the machine gun, which allows her to shake a whole lot. I'm trying not to be biased, but I really like Eleg, so I'm gonna try to be as, impartial as I can. So let's see. So Eleg, where is she? There she is. Eleg, she has a lot of movement. I think she's in B. I think she goes. The shorts really do help because you just see a lot of skin. I think she does go B. B for bigger girl. There we go. B for belly. So next we have Kilo. Do I even have to it's a robot. There's nothing. It's cool because it's like the really only. This is the second robot we've gotten, but it's a robot. There's nothing to see. Even though Kilo is cool, Kilo gets put into F tier because they're a robot. It's, if you like robots, they can go up, but we're here to judge the motion of the ocean, and there's only land there, truthfully. Next, we have Troy. Troy is okay. She's very much. I don't know why they sprayed her foot like that. I don't know why they have her like this. She's always terrified, but she's on the smaller side. That's like a pretty decent curve. I don't know where she gets this little stool from, but there's no movement. It's more of the view, and especially if you like feet, it goes up. And then we have her recent maid outfit, which, kind of like a weird trade-off. But again, this is mainly like, this is, I think, the first like sole foot thing. And I think she's the flattest Nikke we've ever had. I think she's the flattest. But Troy's fine, especially if you're a foot person. But, give or take. So Troy, nothing's being hidden, which is good. So that goes above that. There's nothing really to see if you're not a foot person. So I guess like here, because there's like no movement whatsoever, it's fine if you like that. But yeah, I think she's like there. Yeah. See, she's like C. Next, we have one of the other school circuit girls, which is Een. And I think this is the Nikke that someone pointed out, I think on the Reddit, that for some reason, like her base outfit, like if you look at her here, you don't really see anything crazy, but whenever she's in her firing pose, her thighs are really big for some reason. And she gets a little bit of like the movement back here. And since somebody pointed out the thigh thing, I can't unsee it because like here her thighs are like giant for some reason. And then in here it's like I don't know, I can't really. Oh, view mode. I am in view mode. So like her thighs just got really big for some reason, and then we have her. Oh, this is an even better way. You can see her thighs are kind of skinny in this outfit, and then her shooting, like her thighs just get really big for some reason. But this outfit is a bit of an improvement. Well, no, it's not really. This outfit's fine. There's less movement, but again, this is mainly like a thigh and like front view kind of unit. In her base outfit, we see a little bit more movement, and again, the jacket isn't covering anything, which is good, really good. So she's like a middling unit, middle tier. She's nothing crazy. The thigh thing is now that it's pointed out to me, I can't unsee it. So Een, where is she? Een, she's like a middle tier unit. She's nothing crazy. You do see some movement, nothing. She goes right next to her friend. She goes right next to her friend. I think it's Zwei. Een Zwei. So yeah, that's a decent placement, I think. All right, next we're gonna cover Flora. Flora, I don't really know what her firing pose is like. Oh, side boob. Okay, that's cool. Flora is in like her front view. All right, you get a little peek in the legs. But it's the dress that mainly like hampers it. You see, I don't know how tight this dress is, but I feel like it's a little too much. But you get side boob. This is mainly like her whole thing is side boob, basically. So if you're into that, that's cool. I guess she's not crazy, but she's also not bad. And the dress isn't really blocking anything because her dress is like folding in on itself. And she's a machine gun unit, so she's constantly shaking, which is nice. I'm trying to, yeah, she's okay. Nothing out of this world, nothing crazy. So Flora, here she is. Flora is like, yeah, because she does have some movement, but it's nothing crazy. Again, this is more if you like side boob, you get side boob, but the butt mainly helps it because like the dress isn't blocking anything, so fine, I guess. C tier is okay. Next we have Mana, who, if you don't know, kind of helped make us the commander, but Mana is fine. You thankfully her code has the split, unlike her other friend, unlike Ether, but you see a bit of thigh, you see butt. There is some movement there, so it's nothing too bad. Front is all right. Again, more thigh than anything. And again, a very middling unit. Nothing absurd, nothing out of this world. So Mana, where is she? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There she is. Mana. She's all right. Trying to think. Yeah, she's like right there. She's nothing crazy. She's like very middling of the road. There is some movement, and again, it's more of like a preference. You like business, like office lady people. She's okay. She's nothing, again, nothing special. So next we have Trina, who's technically a part of Flora Squad, and Jesus. I was really surprised when she first had this giant gun, but and it's also a rocket launcher, which is really weird, but you just see a lot in the front. It's just like I'm very surprised about this. Again, she's a rocket launcher, but there is like a decent view. You see a lot of the side boob. You see the front view is really good. I just wish you could see what was behind the gun, but if they did, it probably wouldn't be a good thing. It wouldn't be appropriate. But Trina's okay. You mainly get Trina for her burst, which is something else. And look at this. That's insane. But we're judging the firing poses, not the Nikke themselves. So Trina is, again, more of a middle of the road type of character. So Trina, she should be right here. She's another toothpaste haired character. Trina's all right. You get a lot of movement relative for a missile unit. So I would say, yeah, she's more of like a chest focused person. That's why you can see it from the other side. But in that case, focusing more on chest. Yeah, like right there. Because there is a decent amount of movement. You see, it really knows what you want to focus on, which is the chest. And Trina's okay. She's still high FC tier though. I'm always surprised whenever we get to the end of a list because I never expect it. I'm always like, okay, so who's the next unit? I forgot that Trina was the most recent MISSILIS unit. But yeah, this is what the tier list looks like now. A few more additions to the bottom. I think there was like one or two. Um, C is getting a lot bigger. I think C is going to be where again C is where most of the Nikke are going to go. Um, A every tier kind of got added more, right? I think most of them kind of went into C. MISSILIS has decent units, nothing insane, but yeah. What do you guys think? You think any character should go higher? Any character should go lower? Do you think I'm being a little bit too loose with how I'm just judging these characters? Tell me in the comments. And who's your favorite MISSILIS unit? I already kind of said mine. It's it's Eleg. I love Eleg so much. But if I had to pick somebody else, ooh, that'd be tough. I'd have to think about that. But tell me who your favorite is again. Generic YouTube stuff, like, comment, share, subscribe. I want to thank you guys for watching, even for a second, even for a minute. And I really appreciate every single one of you. So I'd like to bid you all a farewell.